got a tip. You want to know who the most underrated wide receiver in this NFL draft is? UCF's Javon Baker. This guy's got the goods. Before I tell you more about Baker, remember to subscribe to this channel. Click on this button below me for DA Deep Dives. So make sure you subscribe. That means you'll get notifications for DA Deep Dives and our live show on Sundays. All right, let's tell you about Javon Baker, because we know there's bigger names in this draft, and we know there's bigger names from bigger football programs than Central Florida. But Javon Baker, number one, has a pedigree. All right, so Baker is a wide receiver from Georgia. And very early in his recruiting, let me give you the two schools that were hot on him: Clemson and Alabama, who just so happened to be at that time, 2018 and 2019, the heavyweights of the college football landscape. And Saban felt Baker was so talented and so dynamic, he would be the first major school to offer him. Georgia Tech gets involved, Tennessee gets involved, Arkansas gets involved, but ultimately Alabama's there the entire time, and Baker decides to become a member of the Crimson Tide. Now, Javon Baker's a four-star high school recruit. He held offers from Auburn, Florida, Florida State as well. This kid had an offer from all of the Southeastern powerhouses and then enrolls at Bama. Let me give you some of the other names as part of the 2020 Alabama recruiting class: Bryce Young and Will Anderson. Pretty good class. Now look, in 2020 and 2021, Javon Baker could not crack the wide receiving core for Bama. He had a total of 9 receptions of those 2 seasons. So in 2020, Bama wins the national title, and your wide receivers: Devontae Smith, John Mechie, Jalen Waddle. All right, kind of hard to crack that lineup as a freshman. The next year, 2021, Bama's led by John Mechie and Jamison Williams. Again, 2 pretty dynamic wide receivers. And so he goes, I got to get playing time elsewhere, and heads to UCF. No shame in that. His numbers at UCF immediately skyrocket. His first year there, he has 50 catches for nearly 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. And then this past season, he explodes. More than 1,100 yards and 7 scores. Now let's note, his numbers go up as UCF transitions from the American to the Big 12. The Knights are in a major football conference, and that's when Baker arrives on the scene. He rises to the competition that he's playing against. Baker leads the team to receiving 6 of his final 8 weeks in the season. He also has 173 yards caught against Georgia Tech in the Gasparilla Bowl. He tallies 5 different 100-yard games and breaks big play after big play all season long. He had a 57-yarder. He had a 65-yarder. He had an 86-yard touchdown. He's a big play guy. He's got the size, 6'1 plus. He's got the range. He's good up in the air. He's got good body control. Knows how to fend off a defender. If there's a negative, is that Baker does not have high-end top-line speed. He's not a burner. But I'm less worried about being a burner than I am about body control, hands, running good routes, and being productive. The Knights had 2 different quarterbacks split time last season, so he's catching passes from both. And Baker ends up averaging nearly 22 yards per catch. You know he's starting to build some buzz and credibility in NFL circles, because listen to the list of teams that invited him in for a visit before the draft: the Chiefs, the 49ers, and the Ravens. The 2 teams of the Super Bowl, the 2 teams of the AFC Championship game, and the Chiefs just happen to be a set of the best talent evaluators in the league. Plus the Falcons, Vikings, and Patriots all had him in for a visit as well. He's got good speed off the line. He runs a 4.5 40. He's got a strong build. He's 6'1", over 200 pounds. And I think what's happening is Baker's getting overshadowed by the big names in this very deep wide receiver draft. Marvin Harrison Jr. has a Hall of Fame dad, and he's the best wideout out there. He's sucking up a lot of oxygen, but only one team's going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Malik Neighbors is probably a top 5, top 6 pick as well. Rome Odunze plays in the college football playoff and the national championship game. He's got a lot of attention on him also. Brian Thomas, LSU, football factory, had the Heisman winner throwing him the ball. Ladd McConkey has played for a 2-time national champion Georgia Bulldogs team. A lot of eyeballs on him every Saturday. Xavier Worthy, Texas, another college football playoff team. Even Keon Coleman, Florida State, who some rank below Baker, is a guy that got a lot more run during the regular season because of Florida State's attention. A guy who can play on Sunday, Javon Baker, is floating underneath these big names. I think he's a remarkable value. If you could get him in the second round, and hell, the third round is the ultimate steal. The most underrated wide receiver in this draft is Javon Baker. Circle him. Look for him. Look, I've seen draft guys say that he's got #1 wide receiver potential in the NFL. Imagine getting that in the third round. Choo-choo! All aboard the Javon Baker train. Come on in. I'm driving. Hey, for more videos like this, make sure you subscribe by clicking on this button next to me. That means that you'll have notifications when we go live and watch DA live on Sunday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern time, or when we do new deep dives like this one. Also, leave a comment below. What do you think about him? Do you want your team to grab Javon Baker? Love hearing from you guys. Appreciate you watching. I'm DA, Damon Amendolara. We'll see you next time.